Welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch. Summer break is over. We're starting season 2.
Season 2.
Still the same. It's me, Chad.
Hey, I'm Michael.
We're back for more.
Our mics still work.
Mics still work. Camera's looking good.
Yeah.
I finally got the Arsenal away kit. I wanted to pay them like actual money, but they wouldn't sell it anymore, so I had to go DH gate.
These guys.
They're
Why
lost.
would they do that?
I don't know, but my benefit because I got it for a nice price.
I actually need that link from you because Kristen wants to get a Canada and a US women's kit, and that's probably where we'll go. So
yeah.
So yeah, maybe they'll sponsor us someday too.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want that, but hey.
Look, it's early days for us. We'll take any sponsorship.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
So, Saudi Arabia, if you're
hey, I heard they're taking just like average footballers. So I'm like, what defines average here?
I mean, we could kick a ball.
I'd be that. I'll be the 26th man on the bench. That's cool with me.
Yeah.
But Saudi Arabia, I mean, that's well. Let's do something first before we get into Saudi Arabia drama.
Mm-hmm.
Something that might be illegal there is popping open a beer. I don't know the rules there, but I don't think you're allowed to.
Who knows?
At least I don't think I could.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right, we're keeping it light tonight since it is 10:40 my time. Just an all day because you can have one anytime.
Classic, yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what we're doing.
I'm just back on the spin drift right now. I just told you before this airport trip. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Pick up some peeps. So
stay awake.
All
right, sweet. So let's just break it down of whatever's relevant in our lives. It's got to be World Cup #1.
Yeah.
Interesting start.
I think so. I wouldn't say there's been any upsets necessarily.
Yeah, nothing unexpected.
I think definitely good games in there though. Like, I mean, your opening match between New Zealand and Norway, I guess, could be an upset. Like,
yeah, that'd be the only one I think that was kind of an unexpected scoreline.
Yeah. Did you watch that one live, or I know we were kind of last minute on that? So
was that the 2 a.m. one? I watched. No,
I don't know. It started at midnight for me, but that was like we got our nights wrong of when it was going to start, and
so confusing. So confused. I'm still confused when I look at the times of games and what the date is of them because they're only 14 hours ahead. But it felt
14.
I think it's 14.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like 19.
Oh, Chad, we need to look up. Time in Australia. It is 1:43 p.m., which would make it 13 hours.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it feels like 19. Because it's tomorrow. Sure. I feel like every time you're awake, it's just tomorrow there.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's kind of confusing. But thank you for everyone for getting their rosters in. We have a total of 9 people in it, which honestly, more than I thought we'd get. Especially
and our Survivor pool,
Oh, Survivor went like that. Even people were like, is there openings? I'm like, no. Shoot, sorry.
See, we need the expanded World Cup that FIFA wants to do. Like the Survivor pool fans want it.
Yeah, 3. What could we do? 18 people, 3 teams? No, that's way too many. That's way too many.
No. What, they want to go to 32, right?
Is that what it is? It felt like more.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll get there.
It's too far away from that. That's like season 5.
Yeah.
But I think the surprise games that I watched in full was Canada and Nigeria. That was one of the worst games I've ever seen played. And
I didn't catch any of it.
Oh my gosh. Even Kristen was like, this game is awful. And I was like, I wasn't going to say it, but I was like, yes, it is. Like, glad you noticed too. Just ball going back and forth with no real attack. And then the next night was the USA game, and which we can kind of dive into, I think, just because we watched it closely. First half of USA, they're pinging that ball around. Just so much faster than Vietnam. They were making moves in the box that I thought were, clever, and despite not finishing them, I thought it was like, okay, there's a lot of chances to be had.
Yeah.
And then, so Sophia Smith killing it.
Sure, yeah.
And then second half rolled around, and personally for me, I thought we played pretty bad.
Yeah, I was kind of getting my thoughts together on it, and like I felt like I was being a little too critical, but at the same time, like you are back-to-back World Cup winners. You're going for the three-peat. Like we've seen what this team can do, and personally, 3-0 against Vietnam doesn't feel at that level that they should be at this point, right?
Could have been six or I mean, it really could have been 6, 7, 8 if the finishing was there.
And that's the thing is what they ended the game with almost 30 shots and only maybe 10 on target. Maybe
I think it was 7. I think it was 7 for 29.
So I mean that's just not good return, obviously. And I get it's first game of the World Cup, but like you got Netherlands next, like that's an actual competition, right? Like you got to be on your A game.
Always got to go against the Dutch, man.
Always
the Dutch. At least we can't get eliminated from this game. But yeah, if that's the same team that shows up, it's gonna be hard. I think the Netherlands could take it if that's the way we play. Can't miss a PK. That's all too important.
For sure.
There's just so many chances where we could have put the ball. I was actually with 2 soccer coaches who came out and watched the game with us, and one of the coaches is a goalkeeper coach, and he's like, I always tell the girls, he's like, the goal is 28 feet long. He's like, anywhere but the foot in the middle, like anywhere else, just anywhere, doesn't matter. And despite the big differences between men and women playing is just how much space they cannot cover.
Yeah.
And how much less of a vertical game it is for them. So it's like, why aren't they just able to like put it top bin or even just make the keeper run around? Because those keepers, they're probably fairly tall women, but 5'10", 5'11", like maybe 6 foot, like.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing too that really stuck out to me was just the U.S. on set pieces was like bad, like corners and the free kicks and stuff. Like we had the height advantage on Vietnam. Like you could see our women next to theirs. It was a head plus head and shoulders sometimes above, and we didn't get anything from those. It's like that should be bread and butter in a game like this. You don't have to commit so hard to the jump at that point. Like you already have the head start.
Yeah, and it could have been rust. It could have been nerves.
For sure.
I don't disagree with those opinions out there. I think Morgan could have played a lot better. Take away the missed PK, I still think she could have played a lot better. Her assist was great. That was definitely her peak. And then the runs were fantastic. I mean, Smith was obviously our best player, and
oh my gosh,
she did nothing wrong in that game. But everyone else, I feel like, could take it up to another level. Now,
I do think we need to talk about Sophia's second goal, which probably should have been the offside.
So did you see when they returned from halftime? They showed that she was onside. They take Chad. They take so. This is why I hate it so much. It took about 5 minutes into the second half. You can go find it. 5 minutes into the second half. They show the graphic where it showed Alex Morgan's shoulder that was onside. They showed that for maybe 3 to 4 seconds, and like everyone was like, because there's no well, there actually was sound, but there wasn't enough sound to like understand kind of what the commentators were saying. It was loud. But they're like, oh, looks like she was ruled on. But it's just like, what?
Why are we not showing that during the actual VAR check?
Photoshop.
Okay, well, I mean, if she ended up being on, okay, but like from every camera angle they showed, it looked like she should have been off. So if you got the CGI view or whatever, like throw that up right away. Come on.
It made no sense why that had to wait. And then what I think is really neat, and I think they need to expand it a little bit more, because right now it doesn't mean anything, is when the ref comes out and says, after review, we award penalty. Can you just give us like a quick 10-second, like, we're giving the penalty because of this? In other sports, they can explain it a little bit longer. In basketball, say ball went off of his leg, it's conclusive, we see it. She was just like, penalty. And it's like, well, why?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, like, game's already stopped, and you know, you're not really saving any time at this point of not explaining why you're giving the penalty or why you're not. So you might as well just dive into that explanation.
It could be so fast, and I know this is a new thing, so maybe they're not even sure what they should be saying and don't want to speak too much. I do like it, but it's they could add just a little bit more by 5 to 10 seconds. So
yeah, definitely.
I cannot find this graphic, and I don't see
it. Doesn't exist.
It might not even exist. It really might not. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. So I'm not too surprised you didn't see it, because if you weren't watching for 5 seconds, you missed it.
Jeez, yeah.
So it's kind of fun. Is there anything more in that game that you really want to bring up? I mean, I think this next game will be much more important, and unfortunately, it's on Wednesday, Boomer Day. So I think we'll be able to watch the first half. Is it on 8? I think it's on 8 my time.
Yeah. I mean, like not a ton of takeaway from that game. Like, I mean, Vietnam's first appearance, so it was more or less a win from the start.
They played decent. They're not the worst team I've seen.
No. Yeah, Vietnam put up a good fight. And had 1 or 2 moments where they got on the break a little bit, but I think USA either is not up to full speed, or they went into it with the mentality of like, we are the better team, we're gonna win this, and then just like don't play as hard as they need to, which is always dangerous. But I think that game on Wednesday against Netherlands will be the real test of how good this USA team is looking.
I agree, and the other teams that looked really good, Spain, I think they're going to be a tough one. They could have probably won that game 4-0, but they missed the PK. Controversial PKs all up and down
some
the board here.
PKs,
the dive in that game especially. I showed that to Kristen and it was muted, and she basically was like, "Why? Like, is that a free kick?" I was like, "No, it's a PK." She's like, "What?" So, I mean, again, if casual fans can see that and know there's something wrong, why did the ref award that a PK? Why?
I don't know. Like, I watched it a few times myself trying to piece it together, and, nothing jumped out as an actual foul in there, right?
She took 2 full steps before she was like, "I'm going to crumble."
It was just a delayed effect, okay? Yeah. Did you see the PK in the Switzerland game? Against Philippines?
You know what? No, I didn't.
It was... Personally, I don't think a PK, and some of the halftime reporters on Fox also were saying no. But it was like the Swiss striker, I forget who it was kind of like diving into the ball, and like her foot got there just before the Philippines defender did, but like you're already like diving into the ball, like you're not like taking possession of it really, or being able to knock it away and get up and keep possession. Like, it was a full stretch, like kind of slide dive into the ball, and then just happens to get there like a split second first and gets kicked for it, and they gave that as a PK. And to me, that's not really fair. Like, you're just throwing a leg out there, right? Like,
I just watched it. Awful call.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is some of these PK calls have just have been rough. Hopefully, the refs are kind of, it's early for them too, right? They gotta get into the groove of the competition and all that, and hopefully they can maybe get these early weird calls out of the way. And
yeah, I mean, for that one, it's not like her kick to the leg affected the play. It wasn't affected. It wasn't a chance for that girl to score. And was she even facing goal? I'm going to look at that again.
I think she was turned away from it.
She was turned away. Her back is to the goal she's trying to score on.
Yeah. So see, that's like, was she kicked instead of the ball? Yes, but like,
sure,
you made the dive into that play and just happened to get there the split second before the defender. Like,
it didn't change the outcome of what that play would have came about that play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whack. However, the PK on Alex Morgan, though, that was probably the most legit one I've seen. Mm-hmm. She did step on her, and if she didn't step on her, she would have continued with the ball further into the box. I don't think that ball would have gone out. I think that was good judgment. And then the bone crunching tackle. I don't know if you saw this one. You should definitely go look it up. Ashley Lawrence from Canada got a tackle that was so freaking hard in her shin. That resulted in a red card. But earlier in the game, she did something kind of similar. And then you probably saw my post. I said, Canada's probably going to get a red card here, because I was like, it was a hard tackle, but it was in the 20th minute. And then tackles came after the 60th that were so easy. And then yellow cards started to come out. I'm like, it's going to be this type of referee, and we're not going to call anything early in the game, which, you and I hate. Call the game like how you would from 0 to 90. Just interesting refereeing, interesting plays. I think everyone's a little on edge right now, but the best teams are winning, and I guess like the draws that are happening are there. The French draw was surprising. The Canada draw was surprising, considering they just won the Olympics 2 years ago, and it's the same squad but older, more mature. Probably should be better, but they looked really bad, Chad. It was not good. We'll see what happens with them, but they're the worst team I've seen so far.
Yeah, I will give a shout out to New Zealand. Their women's team won, obviously, but that was the first World Cup win for men or women New Zealand team.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a big deal. Norway has some quality players on there. I think they have either the current or former Ballon d'Or winner on there.
Is that Hedberg?
So, yeah, I think that's the name. I don't know. It's a lot of names I don't know out there in the women's sport.
We're learning
of this course, yeah. But
we are learning.
Yeah, I mean, Spain's looked great. Japan has that same fight and tenacity that their men's side does, and they're so really fun to watch.
They are going to be dangerous, Chad. That's I kind of want to do a next best for the women here, who maybe after the first, everyone plays their first game, we collect the players that we like, and then start tracking them from game one just to see kind of what's going to lead into game two. Miyazawa, I think that's how you say her name. Killed it. She's the one with 2 goals for Japan, and they just they were in what? They won the year. They beat the USA in 2011.
I think so, yeah. And then they were in the final in
rematch
20 was it 16?
15. Yep.
15, yeah. So I mean, they've always been a good team, but they look up for it. They look ready. I mean, Netherlands looked great. I watched that game last night. Although they kind of had the same thing that US had, where first half they looked really good, and then second half they just couldn't really get anything going. So I don't know if that's a little bit of put it into cruise control, because you just feel like you're in control of that game and can see it out, or what. But yeah, I didn't get to see the England game. I don't know how they looked, but
they looked fine. Their goalkeeper's pretty good. She was best goalkeeper of the year.
They're just coming off the Euros win. So
Yeah. So I mean, they looked fine. They should have maybe beat Haiti a little bit more, but I think they were just warming up, to say the least.
Sure.
I think the game I'm looking forward to seeing is Brazil getting some action. And then Italy, Argentina.
That one's tonight, yeah.
Tonight, yeah. What time?
Well, for me, 11 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, so. 1 a.m. Oh, God. We'll try. So yeah, those are the games I want to at least check out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to look it up right now. If a men's side and a women's side have ever won the World Cup.
Simultaneously,
because I mean, I don't know how good Argentina's women's side is, but
bottom 16 in ELO. I have them.
Well, 2019. So no team has ever held both men and women's World Cup at the same time. Yeah, because France had the opportunity last World Cup and did not happen, obviously. But
we'll see what this game looks like. I mean, Italy is the quote unquote better squad, but never know until the games start.
That's it.
All right. Well, on a side note, which I thought was hilarious. So we're at this pub, big bar, ITAP, and TVs everywhere. And from where we were sitting, there was like TVs, kind of like to where you are. From my point of view, I was kind of watching this way, and then there's TVs all around. And this was probably around the 60th or 70th minute, and all of a sudden, everyone starts going, "No, no way, no way!" And I turn and I see this guy on the screen behind me, and I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" Kristen was walking up to the bathroom, free kick game winner. I was like, unbelievable.
It's scripted.
What is this?
100%.
What is this?
I don't care if I'm considered a conspiracy theorist. That game was scripted. You're telling me. It's not an MLS league game, so like there's no effect in that standings. You know, it's the League Cup, which is new competition for, I think it's MLS, Liga MX, and maybe one other league. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the other one.
You know, intercontinental sort of competition, competition. Messi comes in, Miami's up 1. You know, he comes in 55, 60 minutes in or whatever. They give a goal away. It's tied 1-1. You know, looking like it's going to end in a draw. And then here you go, injury time. Perfect spot for a free kick. Top of the box, a little bit off to the side. It on the supporter side of Inter Miami too. Like, of course he hits it and it goes in the top corner. Incredible shot. Like it's
couldn't beat it. Impossible to save.
Impossible to save. But like, you're telling me that's not the if you had to write the perfect Messi debut, like that's not it. I just, whether it's Apple, MLS, Inter Miami, someone threw Club Leon or whoever it was, Cruz Azul, some extra cash on the side to say, like, look, if it's tied at the end, give us a nice foul at the top of the box. We'll let Messi do his thing. You guys get paid. We get the Messi debut.
But Chad, there's no, I mean, unless that goalkeeper got, I mean, it looked like he made an effort, a strong effort.
Oh, sure, yeah. And the shot was perfect. Like it would take a great, incredible save anyway.
And maybe he was cheating the opposite way in the box. Maybe we should go back and kind of see where he was originally planted.
Yeah.
I want to believe it was scripted, but it's just like, God damn, man.
I mean,
when David Beckham is on the sidelines crying, it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Is he an act? Can he act like that? Is that an act move, or he's actually crying?
Celebs there, David Beckham crying. It just
LeBron James hugging it out.
I get it. It, you know, probably not scripted, but like,
damn it.
Could you write a better debut for your not only like record signing, but like Messi to like come into MLS and like, you know, mark his start to his MLS career? Come on.
Apple was just like, yes. Yes. In the same day, Ronaldo's talking all this shit about how Saudi Arabia is better than MLS, which define better. It's like you've inflated the league with all these players who are either on the end of their footballing career or like in the middle, but not A players. They're not A+ players that I think can carry a team in any league, but a solid role player, mostly like a Neves type. But there's not that many of those going over there right now.
No, I mean they're doing such a, I guess, smart move on their part of like kind of lowball the actual transfer fee, but spend most of that money in the player wages. So you get the players interested because like, I can make £700,000 a week if I go here. Yeah, here's my transfer request. Like, I get it, but it feels like when the Chinese league was popping off for that year or two, it's gonna fizzle out. You know, you're getting big names now, and yeah, some might stick around, but I don't know. They're throwing money around, and I know they got a lot of money, but like, you can't just buy big names and then call yourself like a competitive league. You need, the teams themselves need to have, you know, good players in every position, right? Like you've seen Ronaldo over there. Like he gets goals, sure, but like he's not carrying that team to like all these different championships and stuff. Like you can still play him out of the game.
He's just one player.
Yeah.
And he's
exactly.
30, he'll be 38, 39.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, I wore my Stevie G jersey just because I felt so bad for him. And then, of course, Henderson wants to go with him. But Scousers are already hard to understand. I just can't imagine those, semi-English speaking players are going like, what?
Yeah.
What are you saying? He's like, come on. And the guy's just like, what is he saying?
Yeah, that video of him is just hilarious. Like,
it looks fake. It almost looks fake.
Yeah, it feels like some weird skit sort of thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Like, obviously, Gerrard's coaching career has not been off to a great start. Maybe he can find some success here and then make his way back. He might be getting paid quite a lot to be over there. I don't know, but
what is success in the Saudi league though? It's really I've only seen like 3 or 4 teams acquiring these players. How many teams are in the Saudi league?
I have no idea. But I want to say it's like those 3 or 4 teams that are signing all these players are like state-backed teams, and they're trying to like start the league based on these 4 teams are like the top 4 sort of thing, and then the other teams just kind of have to fill in. So, I mean, yeah, you're kind of artificially inflating your league and competition anyway.
Yeah,
but
there's 16 teams.
But yeah, you only hear about the 3 or 4 that are making signings or at least asking about players, right? So,
yep.
I don't know. It's just
who's your least favorite move to the Saudi league right now?
Like the Henderson one feels wrong just because I felt like he kind of didn't overtake like that Steven Gerrard kind of figure in Liverpool, but was like kind of that same role, right? Like captain, midfielder, like has been with the club for quite a while now, and like seen some success with the club. And I don't really know too much about what he said outside of play, but it sounded like he was standing for a lot of like morally good.
Yes, absolutely. He's been the culture setter. I mean, he's been the captain for X number of years now, and I'd say a vocal piece to minority communities in England, whether it be immigrants or the gay community. It's been he's been that voice, and he's always worn the rainbow armband, and that was a picture they've been using a lot when kind of leaking this stuff. So he did come out and say, he's doing this because of the generational wealth, but I'm like, bro, you already got that. It's like, how much, I don't know that mentality of like what is enough, but I'm like, you should know it's enough. Personally,
yeah.
I mean,
it. So like, I get the fight they're in now. These players of like, have I been playing this game because I love the game, or have I been playing this game because there's a lot of money in it? And given this opportunity to go make stupid amounts of money for a handful of years, it's gonna feel like the wrong decision to turn it down. But you especially like a Henderson sort of figure, I think you're held to kind of a higher level in a lot of fans' eyes, and ideally you say no to that, you pass on it. Like, you don't have to come out and necessarily like talk down on Saudi Arabia or the league if you don't want to, but just kind of stand your ground of like, yeah, I'm still making 150,000 plus pounds a week or whatever, which is more than enough to live on, even as lavishly as some of these footballers do.
Sure, he has a very posh life. I'm sure it's all right. Now, my one argument is the players, maybe not specifically from Africa, but for instance, Koulibaly said, "I'm taking this money, I'm investing in my my hometown, my community. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's like when you say that, it's like, okay, I get it. I get that more than most of these other stories of like, well, my family, my family has generational wealth. It's like, well, this dude's gonna build his town back or build it up and like, support his people in any way, shape, or form he can. I don't think Henderson's gonna go back to England and build up his town he's from or wherever he is from. I just don't, players like that. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that terminology.
It's still just all so weird, right? Because this money is maybe not dirty, but like, it's coming from just hoarding the oil that the world's right now relies on, right? Like, so it's not the cleanest money in the world, and you would hope that Koulibaly is being truthful in what he's saying, and will take that money and reinvest it in his hometown, and not just kind of be saying that to like get all the journalists off of him. But I don't know. Like, I feel like it's such an impossible thing to think about us in that situation without like being in that situation. Because if they come up to you right now and just like offer you, I don't know, let's just say like $100,000 for per week for 2 years to host this podcast in Saudi Arabia.
Fuck.
That seems mental to like not take that, but at the same time, like,
where's your moral high ground? Where does it stand?
Yeah.
It's a tough question, but see, the difference is, Chad, I went from 0 to 100 real quick. These guys are going from 70 to 100.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not that's a bad ratio, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's not so much you're taking the poorest of players and then making them rich. They're taking the already somewhat rich players and just making them even richer. So, I go through this list and I don't see one player in here who hasn't been getting paid a lot of money. Maybe besides Neves. Neves is the one.
But even
he's
then,
young.
I think Neves. Well, I get he's trying to, set up his family and all that. Like, it became clear that the money was more important than the game, right? Because he's always been a good player at Wolves. He's always had, talk about him in the transfer windows and stuff. Like, I think he could have went to a good team. Like, maybe not make the money that he's going to make in Saudi Arabia, but maybe find some sporting success alongside with the plenty of amounts of money he's going to make anyway.
He would have gotten paid by a lot of teams this year if he would have stayed in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, look at West Ham. They just lost Declan Rice. Neves is not exactly that role, but he is kind of that defender, deep-lying playmaker role. Like, right. He could be the stopgap until they find who they really want, or
that would actually been a really good pickup for them, as you say that.
Yeah. Well, too late for that.
Yeah, that's gone in the past. Yeah. But like a lot. But so for him, for Neves, I think if he plays in Saudi Arabia for 2 to 3 years, whatever it's going to be, he'll be 29 at that point, 28, 29, 30. I could see him, if he's still a really good player, coming back to Premier League. No other player on this list will ever come back because of their age and just where they are at in their career. Mendy, Koulibaly, Conte, Brozovic, Firmino, like the list goes on and on of players that are going, and we will probably never see them within the top 5 of Europe. But hey, man.
Yeah, I mean,
stack them bills.
I guess that's it. It's just hard for me to conceptualize even like being in that position. I would say no and stick to my morals and all that, but I don't know. Maybe you get to a certain point where you're making a lot of money comfortably, and then someone comes in and says, okay, let's like 3x that amount of money you're making comfortably, and you say, do the same thing and get paid 3 times as much.
And all the side perks they're throwing on too. I mean, they're throwing down mansions and cars. It's crazy. It's insane. It's wild. All right, Chad, I want to talk some Arsenal.
Arsenal, all right.
You have signed 2 out of the top 3 highest fees this year as far as bringing in some players.
Mm-hmm.
One I know you're pumped about. The other I know you're
Question mark.
on the fence. How do you feel about Havertz right now, today, after watching his MLS crossing extravaganza and whiffing on all of them? All of them, Chad. I know it doesn't mean anything, but he missed all of them.
I mean, yeah. I didn't put a lot of stock into it. I mean, I didn't watch it live. So
I don't think he cared either.
Yeah, if I watched it live, I maybe would have felt a different type of way. But, it's Havertz is just the question mark, I think, of the season for Arsenal, right? Like, he's coming in after I guess successful but turbulent time at Chelsea, and now will be playing the more midfield role that he's more accustomed to rather than striker. So it's just a big question mark. Like, he's gonna take over that Xhaka role, but Xhaka also was a little bit better defensively than Havertz will be, but then Havertz will be better offensively. So it's going to be just if Arsenal can find that balance of, not committing too much forward and then leaving the back empty. But I don't know. I'm hopeful for Havertz to work out. Like, a lot of Arteta's signings have worked out, and he's if he thinks Havertz can bring something into this team and help, like, I'm here to support and not make any like quick judgments, but it's a big question mark for me still. Like,
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I think more than I would have liked to spend on Havertz, just kind of knowing his time with Chelsea. But
that doesn't make sense either. Like, I get he's young, so he still has a long career ahead of him, but I feel like that was way too. Like, they could have. I mean, look at the James Madison price, who's 20. He's on my list here. He's 26. And he went for 60. And I know it's maybe not what Arsenal needed or wanted, but it's like,
yeah. I mean, I think some of that is just Chelsea, a London rival, so you're going to pay a little bit more for that. I don't know. It's an
odd one.
It's an odd one. It kind of definitely took me off guard when I first started hearing about it. And then, I mean, knowing that Arteta envisions him as playing midfield, I think makes me feel a little bit better about it, because like we've seen Havertz try and play striker for Chelsea over the seasons, and he's just not a striker, and like
he doesn't want to be there. You can tell.
Yeah, he can have some good goals there, but like it's clearly not his natural position and where he enjoys playing. So we'll see. I mean, midfield with him, Declan Rice, and Odegaard sounds really good. I think it just really depends on that balance of being able to keep the defense intact while pushing forward.
I can't wait. We got 18 more days.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
It's coming up so fast. I do want to bring up the moves Man United made just with De Gea. I still find that odd. Being an Inter fan and seeing Onana the last couple of years, and obviously a good player, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he'll change the strategy behind what Man U wants to do in the back. And I just feel like De Gea was fine enough. Of course, he had some howlers that were just like, whoa, like holy crap. But at the same time, Onana does some things that are a little sketch too. And I just don't know. It just feels so weird that they're like, you know what, now's the time to ditch De Gea. Maybe if a new coach came in. I mean, Ten Hag's been there for a year now, but he had De Gea the whole time, and they still got top 4. So it's like, why not kind of just? For me, I don't know. I seem like they kind of did him a little dirty there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird one. Like De Gea, he's had his ups and downs for sure, but like this past season, he was generally pretty good. and then they still just disrespect Dean Henderson. Like,
I know.
Continue to loan the guy out, and he performs well. Maybe not starter material necessarily yet, but you give him another year or something, and then maybe he can step in for De Gea. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Onana looked decent in the Champions League from the times that I saw him, but is he a 40 million or whatever improvement on De Gea? I don't necessarily think so.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I found it to be kind of strange. I was like, out of all places, and of course Inter, kind of an odd selling too. I was kind of bummed about that one, but because now we don't have Handanovic anymore, he's gone.
Yeah.
So we'll see who takes the reins there. But yeah, that was an odd one. I mean, the transfers, as far as they go, haven't been too unusual. I feel like we kind of already knew what was going to happen.
I think my biggest surprise is Aston Villa. They're making some good moves.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly giving Emery the backing he wants, and I mean, I don't know. They could be a threat next season that people might overlook a little bit.
Remind me, they brought in a defender that I'm blanking on right now.
They brought in Pau Torres.
Yeah.
They just signed Moussa Diaby, I think.
Yep. He didn't want to go to Saudi, so
yeah. See,
making moves.
Well, this is not going well. Hang on.
There's a player that I'm still, unless I'm blanking on, unless I'm making it up. I honestly I don't remember at this point. The Tielemans signing was great. Didn't really see him going there, but then they pulled it out.
Oh yeah. Tielemans, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who I was thinking of. There's someone signed there recently, I feel like, but maybe it was Pau Torres.
I mean, yeah, they looked pretty good once Emery came in last season. I think they're making some pretty strong signings. I know there was talk of, I think, West Ham looking at Douglas Luiz from Villa, but if I'm Douglas Luiz, I'm probably staying at Villa because you're seeing what Emery's doing, and the club is bringing in these big names. I think they're going to be like fighting in that top 6, 8-6, I'd say. Kind of poking in and maybe stealing some points off of the traditional big 6, and
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it. I'd like them to make a push for James Ward, but looks like West Ham is going to probably make one last little effort on him. But he won't stay in Southampton, will he?
I don't know. He's been there his whole life. He's born in Southampton squad, and he's going to stay there till he dies.
It's not what I want.
No, yeah. I think he's too good to be in the championship with them. I get having that whole, bring the team back up to the Premier League on your resume is, not a trophy, but probably feels good for you, especially being your, boyhood club. But I mean, really, yeah, you should be in a established Premier League team at this point. And
he's 28. He's 28. He's got time.
28. He's got some time, and
maybe since Henderson's leaving, God, it'd be the perfect one to slot right in. Oh.
It wouldn't be bad.
Oh,
I mean, I think
perfect.
Purely based on the guy's free kick ability is it's something to look at. Whatever you think about his on-field play, you can kind of coach that and pad it around a little bit, but you get a free kick, that thing's going in the goal.
Him and Messi, man. Yeah. They find a way.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I think that's the player I'm still going to be looking for. And then Liverpool signings have just been let's go. We're gonna outscore everyone and play no defense is what I think is gonna happen.
Look, you got Slobozlai, that kid. Yep. I've seen him around for a few years now, and he's always looked pretty exciting. And some of the goals that I've seen him score are just like bangers. I think he's a really good pickup. I don't know. I'm throwing it around to putting him in my fantasy team.
What position is he gonna play?
He's listed on Transfer Market as attacking midfield. So we'll see what it ends up being, but dude's got a good shot on him, and he's got that creativity as well. So I think he could be. I don't think he'll reach like De Bruyne levels necessarily, but could get some good points for sure.
I'm trying to find the numbers right now, but I did stumble upon a statistic for him. He has missed one PK out of... Oh, found it. He's taken 16 penalties and made 15 of them. Chad, he's gone left on every single one.
See, he's got that post to loan in him. He picks his spot, shoots it in the corner, boom, done.
They know. The other team knows.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player for sure. See what he can do. I mean, under Klopp and this Liverpool side, if they can kind of start the season as they ended the season with some good energy and good play, I think he's going to be really dangerous.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see if he takes over for Salah. I mean, the dude has gone one way his entire career and missed one. And I don't know the one he missed if it was saved or not. I'm going to assume he missed the goal. Maybe went a little too far left.
Maybe, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if any keeper wants to catch on to that and just stand on that side and be like, I'm going to make you go that way. I mean, I would start to do that. You got to at least cheat a little bit just to like...
You would think.
He's gone one way his whole life.
I mean, yeah. But see, then it's the mental game. Is if you stand on that side, you're trying to force him to go right, but then he's saying, no, I'm still going left.
No way.
So then, who knows?
You just stand there. You'd be like, you double mind game. I know what you think I'm going to do. I'm excited for Premier League to start, especially with all your fancy changes you made. I'm like ready to dive into that.
Yeah, we'll have to dive into that and see what we want to keep, what we want to remove, what we want to alter.
I think next weekend we probably do that. If you're down, we maybe Friday night. We don't have to do any changeover for the Women's World Cup until August 3rd, so we have a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. And with only 9 people, it goes by quick, man. When I was importing them in that morning, it was so easy. I was like, oh, this is like such a breeze compared to the men's where we had, it wasn't so much the majority of people. I mean, we had 15 or so people in the men's. Yeah. It was the diversity of rosters. Just so many players. And I think with our Women's World Cup, we probably all Googled best women in the World Cup, and that list was pretty short. Which is normal and expected.
Yeah, I think that's a fair starting point. Like I told you, I Googled a list and then took some Arsenal player names I recognized. But in watching the games, I'm definitely paying attention to maybe who's hasn't performed great in these games, but who is looking really promising and could spring into something. So I think we'll start to see a little bit more diversity amongst the teams as we move forward. But I mean, yeah, we all kind of know of the women's game and know the big names, but we're all learning here. We're all paying attention, having fun, and
especially the newbies who are in here too. They were going. I sent Mark Mickelson, him and Laura N were the only people who didn't take Sophia Smith. Oh. And I texted him. I go, "You didn't take Sophia?" And I think I could probably bring up what he said. Oh shoot, where is he? It was after the assist. I said, "You didn't pick Smith," and he sent me that GIF of "I've made a huge tiny mistake," and I was like, "Yep, you did."
Yeah.
So.
That's okay. We all make those mistakes. I didn't pick Holland at the start of last season, so
happens to the best of us. Who are your survivor teams?
I have
you got Zambia, right?
France and Zambia, yeah.
Okay.
So not a great start for either, but it's early days. We'll see.
I'm of course I want my team to win, but I'm hoping for a Japan USA final. Daniel and Harris duking it out. That sounds fun and realistic. I think that could happen. Yeah, final will be August 20th. I think it's August 20th. I think
so.
20 to 20, which is our travel back from Hawaii day.
It's 3 a.m. for me, so I'll be up bright and early.
Man, what the hell? I will watch it, despite whatever the time is. Oh, it will be 5 a.m. for me, August 20th, which is... Oh, it's Sunday. Oh, golden. And we're going to be on Hawaii time. That's 11. That's 11 p.m.
It'll be great for you, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's gonna hurt. That next week is gonna be painful.
Yeah, it's okay. We all got to make some sacrifices.
Yeah, hell yeah. Once every 4 years, let's go.
Yeah.
Chad, what else you got? Anything new in the footy world that you want to bring up?
Not so much. I mean, Sac Republic's still playing their season. They've hit a little rough patch. They got some key injuries going on. Still only, I think, 3 losses, so they're still top of the table. But yeah, it's you lose a few key players and team doesn't function the way it normally does, and goals have been hard to find, and then hanging on to leads have been hard to find. So it's a long season, goes until like October or something. So yeah, not too worried.
It's weird to have soccer in the summer here. It's just it's just the exact opposite, which is funny.
I mean, look, I've gone to some of those games and it's like kickoff is at 8 p.m. and it's still like 100 degrees out there, and you're just like sitting and sweating, and
it's hot here too, man. I get it. I get it. I can't wait for the fall.
Oh, for real.
I'm always wanting the heat, and then it gets here, I'm like, nah, I changed my mind. Too hot.
For sure.
All right, Chad. I think. Let's see. When does day one end for the women's? I think it is Tuesday.
Day one. Well.
Oh, Tuesday.
Yeah, kind of like
after Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, because for me, New Zealand and Philippines would be start of match day 2, but it's Monday night at 10:30 technically for me. So it's on the same day as the end of match day 1, but it's not really.
Yeah, this is awful.
Yeah.
So freaking wild how these time zones are working. All right, then after Monday's games, last game on Mondays, Colombia, South Korea, which I believe is 9 p.m. for me.
Correct, yeah.
Maybe after that game, we do a quick little get together, take some notes, and we'll probably have a team already worked out. Make next best that night, and then we'll roll into Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or Monday night for you, whatever time it is, and go from there.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll get to see, a little bit of each team, what they got, and what players stand out, and go from there.
Woo, man, crazy.
Yeah, right back into the swing of things, and then
I know it's went by quick.
Oh yeah,
it's been a nice break, but I'm ready to get back on a schedule and get our league going again. Get the people involved because it's quiet in the Discord. I liked when everyone was talking their shit and getting excited about what's to come. So that'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Chad, with that, we went 55 minutes and
typical.
No notes, no nothing, no script. Straight from the heart, straight from the soul. Yeah. I found my scarves, so I put them up.
Nice.
I got my. Oh God, pop on.
Where are you? Oh, there it is.
I just wrap it. If I get a little chilly here, I just.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't get chilly because it's like 1,000 degrees in here. But
yeah. Well, here you go. Start of season 2 for Hooligan's Pitch.
Yep.
Technically, this is episode 39.
39. Yep.
So yeah, moving forward.
On
ready
to
to go.
season 2.
Recharged.
I like it. I'm ready to go. Shout out to my little brother who just got a trip from his boss to Japan and Hong Kong. He's gonna go get me that FC Tokyo kit.
Yes.
Jealous, man. I'll tell you all about it, but he's gonna be like, he's like called me. He's like, I'm going to Japan. I was like, what? It's like, how? He goes, my boss. And I was like, okay, we'll talk about this later. So, I'll see if he can grab you some soccer swag too out there and kind of see what's going on. So,
sweet.
Yep. All right, Chad. With that, Hooligan's are out. All right. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.